everything's working. I'm seeing audio moving, so I assume everything's working. I think I fixed our issue with Streamlabs OBS and our Stream Deck. So I think we're going to be good today. We'll see. I'm going to kind of keep monitoring it in case something doesn't work correctly. Otherwise, we're going to go. We have a lot to talk about today on this show because I didn't do a news video today. So there's a little bit of news that we'll be discussing today. On some other stuff because we had the channel trailer go up, and that was kind of the video today. YouTube gets a little not happy with you if you're uploading a ton of videos within 24 hours. I know we didn't do our live stream last night playing games. I do apologize for that. Not only was I, my body was feeling a little under the weather, needed some rest.
Your body was not Reggie.
Obviously, last night's also when we found out that my sister does have COVID-19. She's pregnant. She's not quite 30 weeks along. She is vaccinated, so that, you know, I saw some comments where people were like, well, that should show her to get vaccinated. And people just misunderstand the vaccine. The vaccine does not make you immune to COVID. That's not what it does. So just to get rid of some common misconceptions about the vaccine does not make you incapable of contracting COVID. In fact, it doesn't do anything to prevent you from getting COVID. All it does is supposed to give you a lower chance of getting severe symptoms. AKA, it's a way to get us back to our normal life and us not worrying about COVID. Just like we don't worry about the cold. We don't really stop our lives for the flu anymore. So I think that's the whole goal there. But unfortunately, because she's pregnant, she has a weaker immune system. She has other pre-existing conditions as well. But update is that she's doing fine. Her symptoms haven't gotten worse. So in fact, they've gotten a little bit better, and it's only been a few days. So that's a good sign. So everything seems to be good there. Obviously, the biggest concern is the baby. She can't. It's tough because because she has a positive test. They're not like letting her just like mosey in all the time to check on the baby. But they did have someone travel, I think, to check on it. Everything seems fine. So we're just gonna kind of leave that alone and move on to the stuff we're actually going to talk about today. By first reminding that today is the 27th episode of the Nintendo Prime Podcast, everybody. We made 27, baby. You know, that's the age where, like, you're well past the age of drinking, but also, like, you're starting to realize you're getting a bit older. 30's right around the corner.
Yeah, right?
Should we start to grow up a little? Come on now. So, yeah, I'm your host, as always, Mr. Nathaniel Rufflejants, and to my left and your guys' right is Mr. Eric Moore. How's it going, man?
Good. How's it going, everybody?
Want to tell everyone what you've been busy doing all week for the channel purposes?
Oh, God. I've been downloading and re-uploading all of the podcasts episodes. Well, sorry, not all. The revamped podcast episodes to the new podcast channel. So
that's right, folks. We have a brand new podcast channel, which, of course, I don't have linked in the description. Although, I believe if I can make the bot scream out the podcast channel to you. So I will do that in the chat. We do have a brand new podcast channel. And, we're trying to get everybody to go over and subscribe to that because eventually, I don't know when the Switch is going to be turned. I'm hoping by the start of the new year, but I don't know because the unfortunate truth about YouTube is there's a lot of features locked on new YouTube channels. You have to get certain view counts. You have to get certain subscriber counts. So without us hitting those goals, it's like over 4,000 watch hours and I think over 5,000 subscribers for every feature. We don't want to flip the switch over there and be able to put on a lesser show, essentially. Right. So we are going to eventually turn the switch on over there, and every podcast episode is going to be over there, and we're just going to advertise it here. But until then, we'll still be hosting the live version of it here on demand over there, and we'll be actually making clips of our latest episodes once we're caught up, and releasing clips of like certain segments and certain conversations that really took off, and I want to highlight. So that should be a fun experience. So please go subscribe to the Nintendo Prime Podcast channel if you happen to enjoy any part of the show or any other show we're doing. Some people have been wondering why we haven't had consistent guests. I will say this. The guest list is thinning out. Not because people don't want to come back on. It's more so because they're just busy. Incredibly busy this time of year. Mm-hmm. Although I am happy to confirm that at some point before the end of the year, we're going to have Thomas from Switch Stop is going to be on an episode. Happy to confirm that today. Andre's Restart, of course, is going to be back on for the end of the year, and Game Over Jesse plans to be on as well. In fact, Game Over Jesse would have been on today because we're going to be talking some Zelda today.
Yeah.
But he moved his podcast, which is usually on Thursdays, to today because it's Thanksgiving in the United States tomorrow.
Right.
So happy early Turkey Day to everyone. I hope that your holiday season that I guess sort of begins now, although you can argue it began with Halloween. Anyways, I hope the holiday season goes well for all of you guys. Obviously, with my family and my sister stuff, kind of off to a rough start because she also turns 30 on Sunday, and we can't celebrate that because no one can see her. So, I mean, she's not all alone. She does have a husband and everything. But let's get into some of the stuff we're going to talk about today. So, we have some hints and potential leaks towards an indie world in December, which typically predates a Nintendo Direct, so we'll talk about that. We have some rumors and stuff circulating around the Zelda 35th anniversary. I don't have the rest of the topics right in front of me. Oh, maybe I do. Maybe I just didn't. I didn't reload here. We're also going to be talking about Square Enix stating that a certain game that came out on Switch underperformed, and why it's really Square Enix's fault, even as they're sort of making it sound like the IP's at fault, or like, they're basically treating it like, the game's not very popular, and that's not a good sign for the future of a franchise where this actual game was amazing. They even said it reviewed really well, so they're not blaming reviews. They know the game was good, but nobody played it. But I know why nobody played it, and I don't know if Square Enix is willing to admit it to themselves, but we'll talk about that as well. And then we'll talk a little bit about the final update for Mario Golf Super Rush that came out today, supposedly. I haven't downloaded it yet, so in fact, we're looking at the Japanese website for it. So but maybe we can get some final thoughts on Mario Golf in general, because I know we both have played it. So even though it's been a little while for me, because I got this, I did beat story mode, but and I've played some of the other stuff on it now. So let's just get to our first topic, and this is going to deal with Neo: The World Ends With You. In fact, let's load up a trailer for this so you guys can see what this looks like. Well, before I get that loaded, because it's going to take me a second to set it up, because I just realized I don't have the title card set up for it. Eric, Neo: The World Ends With You came out in the same month as Skyward Sword HD and Monster Hunter Stories 2. And it's a RPG, a JRPG that many feel like should have been nominated for the RPG of the year at the Game Awards. That seems to be the general consensus.
Okay.
And the problem, obviously, at this point, to me anyways, at least the way that I see it, is they came out today during an investor's call and basically said it did not sell well. I am curious why it didn't sell well, because they essentially said it underperformed expectations, which means it's not just that it didn't sell well, it sold worse than they expected it to. Now, it was multi-platform, and some do think it was a mistake not making it exclusive to Switch, because the first game in the series, which was on DS, was exclusive to Switch. But let's get a trailer here playing so we have a better idea, because I didn't play this game. In fact, I didn't even know this game existed if it wasn't for essentially let's see here. Let's pop this over to this one. Yeah. So I wasn't even aware this game existed if it wasn't for the channel Player Essence. Because he covers a lot of RPG stuff. In fact, at one point he joked around that his whole channel is about RPG news. And he does. It's quickly become one of the niches in video games that he really nails better than every other Nintendo YouTuber. And that is coverage of games just like this. And my thing is, the fact that as someone like me, a Nintendo YouTuber that covers news and discusses news daily, basically didn't know about this game if it wasn't for another YouTuber talking about it, tells me it was very poorly marketed. Now, we could talk about the release month and being overshadowed by Monster Hunter Stories 2 and Zelda Skyward Sword. And it's multi-platform, so like those games didn't. That's not why it didn't sell on PlayStation. That's not why it didn't sell on PC.
Well, what else was coming out on those platforms?
Yeah, who knows?
At that same time?
Well, PlayStation hasn't had a whole lot coming out. So, what I will say is, the game reviewed really well. Like top tier
Looks
reviews.
good.
It might, I think it might even be the best reviewed RPG of the year.
Huh.
But the thing is, most people don't know this thing exists
Yeah.
because they didn't market it. Like Octopath Traveler was a risk, and they marketed the hell out of Octopath Traveler. They marketed the hell out of the Final Fantasy 7 remake. They've marketed the hell out of so many things, but it feels like they made this amazing experience here, and they didn't market it. So my issue, because I'm worried this is the end of the IP. When a studio like Square Enix comes out and says it underperformed expectations, which it's already a niche game, so their expectations probably weren't that, it's going to be a 10 million seller.
You never know.
No, I doubt it.
They didn't say what their expectations are,
No.
so...
But if you look at the first game, you can see what the first game did and kind of build from there. Okay, they expect probably what the first game sold.
At least.
And then maybe 500,000, maybe an extra mil on top, being multi-plat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Even if you want to say double sales,
Right.
fine. But it wasn't close. They made it sound like it was a total flop. And I'm really frustrated by this because I know they're just making a factual based statement, right? It underperformed their expectations is a fact based statement. But it's also a fact based statement that I don't know how they expected it to do even what it did before without marketing the damn game. Like, yeah, I probably should have talked about this game maybe a bit more on my channel. Maybe that would have gave it a few dozen more sales, but I am just scared when companies talk like this because it's traditionally meant, yup, we're done.
The end of the
EA, Dead Space 3 underperformed expectations. We're not getting another one. Battlefront 2 underperformed expectations. Guess what, guys? They just confirmed they're not making another Battlefront. So it's like, when things underperform expectations, companies just abandon them. Nintendo, infamously, Metroid Other M. They kind of sort of said we're shelving the Metroid franchise after that underperformed. Now look how long it's been, up until Dread, in between Other M and Dread. Like, yeah, we had some Federation Force and Samus Returns, but like our next major Metroid game didn't come till Dread, and that was a long gap. So I think this franchise just deserves better. I think that's maybe my viewpoint right now, is that Neo, The World Ends With You deserves better. What are your thoughts? I'm sure it's probably one of the first times you've even seen it, because again,
I haven't.
We would have talked
never
about
seen the
this more
gameplay.
if we even knew the game was coming, but we didn't, because this is just what happens with games like this. So again, now I'm not saying everyone's going to like the game, but clearly it had a crowd the first time around.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm trying to figure out what the first one did. I don't even know what the first one's called, so I can't even compare the numbers to see what the first one did to the second.
Neo,
one.
The World Ends With You. That's the whole name of the IP, basically.
Okay, so the both games.
There's it's like version 1.2, blah 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 blah. That's a really long number.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's just what the series does.
Sure. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. So, is this a thing of over or under marketing? Is it
How's it
over
going, Jake?
expectations?
Jake Randall's in the chat.
Oh, nice. Hey, Jake.
How's it going, man? Let me know where I can get a Switch OLED. I'm trying to give one away on Sunday.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
I don't want to buy from a scalper. I'm like this close to pulling the trigger on a scalper. I really don't want to do it though.
Strangely enough, that's the last podcast we just uploaded on our podcast channel.
What was featuring Jake Randall? Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Jake Randall, are you following our podcast channel?
There you go. There you go. Yeah. So it's really interesting to see what was actually, and we'll never know the actual reason why this didn't sell well or as well as they thought it was going to. Again, was it under marketed? Was it?
Well, it's definitely undermarketed.
Over expectations.
It was definitely undermarketed. That's for sure. There was commercials for the original one, and there wasn't for this.
Right. Yeah.
So.
I mean, sure. Maybe they thought going multi-platform was going to add another mil per system.
So one thing that Player Essence brought up, because again, I didn't know about this one. He brought this up on Twitter where he mentioned he thinks something that might have impacted the sales was that it went multi-platform, because whether we like it or not, when games are exclusive, fans will market exclusive games more, even if the company won't. So, as an example, all the times we talked about upcoming Switch exclusives, this game would have been mentioned
Right.
if it was
True.
exclusive.
True.
And that would have been true for all these other news channels and social media outlets as well, where the game would have got brought up more as an exclusive than it does as a multi-plat not being advertised.
True.
Because fans tend to advertise all the upcoming exclusives. I mean, you guys have heard of Big Brain Academy, right? It's not like Nintendo's put some massive marketing campaign. They announced it, and then they said there was a demo, and that's pretty much it. And yet, why do you hear about it? Well, there's a demo. It's an upcoming exclusive. We know it's coming next month. We know Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp got booted. And it's like, that's a game that I don't even plan to buy. I don't plan to do anything with. I don't think I'd even enjoy it that much. But yet, I've talked about it more on my channel than this game because it was exclusive.
Right.
And that does also get into exclusivity bias at times as well of channels like mine, where we do tend to focus a bit more on the exclusives and not as much the multi-plats.
True.
So that is obviously something that I could look at as a criticism of channels like mine, is that we don't do a better job covering this stuff. I think for a channel like that's more general gaming, if they're not talking about it, that's more of a bigger slide on them because it's coming to every platform. They don't,
right, for sure.
Although it didn't come to Xbox. Some people said, oh, if it came to Xbox, JRPGs don't perform well on Xbox. That's just, I don't know why. They have Octopath Traveler on Game Pass, and it only added like 10,000 players. So,
weird.
There's just something about right now. Well, you gotta remember the Xbox marketplace is made up of like, why is it growing? Well, people want to play Forza Horizon 5. People want to play Halo Infinite. Yeah. That's really hitting on the core Xbox community. I think once Bethesda's games and other ones come out that help expand the overall Game Pass community into broader taste, then these games might start to do better. You know, if you have a huge crowd in to play the next Elder Scrolls, they might be willing to give a JRPG a shot. Because Elder Scrolls is an RPG. So, even though Western. I don't know. That's a theory because we don't know because the games haven't hit Game Pass yet. Microsoft hasn't given us anything so far with Game Pass other than the games that we always get from Microsoft. All these studio acquisitions haven't borne fruit yet, is what I'm trying to say. But they will. They will. It's just patience. Game development takes a while.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could argue that the not being exclusive did hurt it. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't go, if they knew they wanted to go multi-plat, maybe start out with a timed exclusive, and then, because, get your fan base that, and hardcore, ones that want to come back to it, give them the exclusivity stuff, and then open it up to your other platforms to hopefully bring in.
Well, kind of, if you like Monster Hunter Rise, a year timed exclusivity away from PC. Now, Nintendo paid for that, by the way. They wanted it exclusive. So there was there's a little difference there because Nintendo chose it. This is a Square Enix choice where Nintendo didn't give them money for the first game, let alone the second. So I think there is something where exclusivity would have helped it. I just don't know if that's like a big, like, I'm always a statement that the more people your game is in front of, the better.
Right.
Like Breath of the Wild, 25 million. Can you imagine if it was also on PlayStation 4? That game might outsell Grand Theft Auto 5, which is 80 plus million. Like, that's how big that game is so great. Imagine 25 million on Switch, plus 50 million on PlayStation, plus another 10 million on Xbox, plus God knows how many buy it on PC so they can play at 8K, 120 FPS, and just like people who double, triple, quadruple dip on every platform they have, just even for comparison's sake,
no, for sure.
Or just so in every situation. Hey, Breath of the Wild's on my thing. Like,
no, for sure.
Like, I look at this and go, I think it's always good to be multi-platform, but there's two benefits to exclusivity. One is something we did see with Monster Hunter Rise, and unfortunately, for PC users, will be held back. The game was built for the ground up for Switch. So being built for the ground up for a platform typically takes better advantage of that platform and looks better. You compare, like Monster Hunter Rise to something like The Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is ported over to Switch. Yeah, it looks fine, but it doesn't look nearly as good as it does on other platforms. Not only does it look nearly as good compared to, say, Monster Hunter Rise. Why does Monster Hunter Rise look so much better? Because it was built from the ground up for Switch. Now, that's going to be a deterrent that holds it back a little bit on PC and what they can do there. But that's what Nintendo paid for. They wanted this game built from the ground up for Switch.
Right.
So one benefit of exclusives is built for that platform tends to perform better on that platform. Looks better on that platform. Switch exclusives tend to always look better than third-party ports because they're working on other platforms. And this is true whether you're making for Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5. You could take better advantage of PlayStation 5's SSD advantage if you are making it exclusively for PlayStation 5. You could take better advantage of the GPU advantage on the Series X if you're building exclusively for the Series X. PC is a bit of a hot mess because you got to consider a whole bunch of wide-ranging hardware. But the point is that when you're built up for very specific catered hardware, you're going to just perform and look better. That's always been the case. That's one advantage of exclusives. Second advantage is just marketing from the platform and the platform holder community. But I feel like you can make up for marketing. You don't need fans to market your game. That's your job.
Yeah.
You're a $1 billion company.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Throw, $20 million in an advertising campaign. That might sound like a lot of money, but to these companies, it's not.
Right.
Put an advertising campaign together. How difficult is that?
Shouldn't be.
I mean, pay for commercials. Like this is the kind of look. You know where this type of game needs to be advertised? Adult Swim.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is like perfect anime, perfectly targeted to a community already watching this kind of stuff.
Yeah. No,
I mean, Nintendo advertises Zelda and Mario on Adult Swim. This is like perfect for that audience.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's actually you're spot on.
And there's millions and millions of people watching Adult Swim. So like, there are reasons and ways they could do this that would be just better. And it feels like they just threw it out there to die and thought it would just sell because the first one did okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, look, it's a good game. At least according to Metacritic, it's a great game. All the reviews are glowing on this game.
Mm-hmm. It looks like a good game.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It frustrates me when a great game like this, multi-platform or otherwise, is just kind of, it almost feels like the company's getting ready to throw it away and just say, yep, hope you like that. We ain't doing that one again. Because that's the history. Now, maybe we're wrong. Maybe another game does come up. Or not.
Maybe they give it
or maybe they just decide, they'll probably throw it on freaking mobile devices in China or something. And they'll just call it a day. Yeah. Which is not what we want to see happen either. Because then the series can arguably be held back. And then you also take it away from the audiences that do enjoy it already. Just a tough one. We did get a super chat in from Pixel Grizzly for 199. He said, thoughts on Danganronpa? Tempted to try it out. That's another one that I don't know that much about. Now, I'm not going to say there was a lack of advertising on that one. That's just one that I personally happen to not know that much about.
No clue about that one.
There's a lot of games, guys. I don't know a lot about a lot of games. That's just how it goes. I cover a lot of stuff, but there's always going to be certain things that happen. Also, Pixel Grizzly was person did a super chat earlier as well and said, Happy Thanksgiving. Peace and love to everyone. Peace and love to you as well, and everyone watching. I hope everyone has an amazing holiday period. Man, let's move on to our next one. We have an update on what is it? On Mario Golf. So I'm gonna see if I can set something up for that. First off, what are your general thoughts on Mario Golf looking back on it? We haven't really talked about it much besides like our one quick impression.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be.
Now, are you talking about the game on the whole or just campaign?
The campaign. That's all I've played. I haven't actually played any of the other modes, which
that's why I wanted to clarify.
That's true. Good call. I don't know. It just wasn't as, I guess, RPG as I was thinking it was going to be. I don't know. Something just felt off. I don't know if I liked the constantly running to your next ball, and I don't know.
So I will say the campaign in Mario Golf Super Rush, because we have our final update. We'll go through stuff here. The campaign in Mario Golf Super Rush advertised itself as an RPG. And that immediately made people think of the older Mario Golf games, Game Boy era, where it was full-on RPG mode. And you were climbing up ranks and trying to become the best golfer in the world. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, that's how the game starts. The game starts out where you're trying to get to the top league and become the best player. It even teases going against Mario in a golf tournament. Like, he's up in the upper echelon. Look at the tournament they're doing. They're doing this crazy mode. You can work your way up to this. And the game starts out by putting you right in a golf tournament. And you're like, yeah, that's what I want. Little do you know, that's the only golf tournament the entire time. You play the rush mode the rest of the time, in various ways with various different objectives. There are some competitions in there with others, but they're not really. It's not stroke play. So you took the golf out of golf,
Right.
and you started with a tournament with a promise that that's what you're trying to do is become the best. Now I understand the premise of cleaning up the courses.
Yeah.
Like fine, that's kind of like your tutorial. After we clean the courses up, let's actually do the tournament. Oh no, you're just advanced to the next league. Why?
Yeah, right.
How do I advance to the next
Right.
league? Because I cleaned up a course.
Right.
How did I prove I can actually play golf?
Yeah. No, I get you on that one.
So it wasn't really an RPG because it was linear, and there was no benefit really. Like, oh yeah, if you upgrade your character, you can hit farther. But you don't really need to do any of that
No, you really don't.
because you never are in a golf tournament where it matters.
Yeah.
So it just felt, ironically, rushed. Which we shouldn't probably be surprised about. Shout out to my sister in the chat, everyone. She's here. She said F COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's I got one for you, sis. We'll give you a real shot for you. Bust out. We got some Malibu strawberry here. That's my sister, everyone in the chat, Casey Jan. She's the one that I talked about earlier that's pregnant and has COVID. She's not doing well. She's probably tuning in trying to fall asleep.
Give me a cap.
You want to cap her?
Yeah. Wanted to try it.
Want it? Yeah. It's pretty tasty.
Good enough.
As long as I don't get it on the audio equipment. It was close.
Yeah, that's true.
It was close for a second. I was like, oh wait, move fast. All right. Cheers, man.
I agree. F COVID.
Yeah, dude. Nobody enjoys that stuff. But yeah, it's
Yeah, not bad.
no, it's not. It's kind of tasty.
Yeah.
So I was let down with that. Now, when I played the other modes, I was okay with it.
The rush mode made sense for those modes.
The rush mode was fine on its own as like its own separate mode.
Right.
There's been other modes as well, and you could play online. No, they didn't have leaderboards, and then they added leaderboards. So they fixed the one problem with online that I had. But let's get into this update. Because this is a feature that on Nintendo Direct doing their verdict on Mario Golf Super Rush's 4.0 update, which is the final new characters, courses, and modes. And so it said, when Mario Golf Super Rush launched, it was an enjoyable but a bit B tier, as we argued in our review, which I would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a game that felt like it was going to be A tier,
and the number of courses available too was
limited courses.
Yeah,
but we knew there was going to be free updates for courses, so I was trying to be a little less critical on that. So now we have all the courses. So
yeah.
Online play is much improved, and there have been multiple new courses and modes fleshed out with the experience. Version 4.0 is the latest and last of the major updates, and it makes yet more strong additions that are both fun and add variety. We've been trying out the new content, and once again, it adds more positives to the evolution of this Switch entry in the series. So new characters, we got Wiggler and Shy Guy.
Nice. Okay.
And they have, they'll go over their different types of moves and all that. So there's been I think 6 new characters added to the roster. So, all right. New courses: Shelltop Sanctuary and All Star Summit. Starting out with Shelltop Sanctuary, it's another par 3 only course. But which is like a previous edition. They added New Donk City through a free update before. Nice. That was a par 3 course. Though it doesn't recreate the floating islands of the equivalent Mario Golf World Tour, it has a similar vibe and challenges players to be precise and accurate. The amateur version is a challenge but doable, while the pro version will be a test for strong players, which is what you want to hear. You want to hear this challenge. Mm-hmm. So if you play it on the hardest mode, it's a challenge to do this par 3 course. That's good because par 3 courses are usually known for notoriously being easy. So I like that. And they even said it's a good addition. Well, in the the one putt mode, we're going to cover in a moment. Finally, they have All-Star Summit. It's very much a finale course and immediately one of our favorites of the game. We've been critical in the past of a number of courses and settings in the game lack creativity, and this goes some way to resolve that. Each hole and area is made to resemble an iconic Super Mario character with clever usage of pretty much every terrain type to create the likenesses, along with breakable blocks and more. Now that's good. That's good. Okay. This is a course where strategy is needed. There are a lot of hazards due to character features being made with bunkers and deep rough. This is especially true in some of the longer par 5 holes. Even some greens have little bunkers for eyes, as an example. So depending on your approach, You may need to even play chips instead of putts. It feels fun rather than gimmicky. And as the course
Chips on the green?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. As the course looks fantastic, any quirks feel like strengths rather than weaknesses. The music is also excellent. Both courses are good and entertaining. So, yeah,
Okay. I mean,
they
that
added some
sounds
decent
interesting.
courses. They added some decent courses, which the thing is, when the DLC courses are significantly better than the ones included, it's like, why weren't they just included in the game? That's always going to be my base criticism. DLC is fine, and I want it to be good, but it should never be. It should be on par with what's in, not necessarily superior than. Especially when the game itself wasn't already offering enough content.
Right.
That's maybe my number one complaint is I think they treated this, because these are all been free updates. They treated it like Splatoon. Like, Splatoon came out the gate and was incomplete, and you completed it with free updates. Same with Splatoon 2. Probably the same with Splatoon 3. But see, we expect that from that franchise now. That's the way it's always been. Mario Golf, until this game, has come out as quote-unquote a complete experience. So this felt like the most incomplete experience I've ever had with Mario Golf. It makes it disappointing because the gameplay is actually not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, actual golfing's fine.
Yeah.
I don't expect anything more out of it.
Yeah, right. It, like you said though, they took the golf out of golf.
Yeah, I know. That's but when we did that tournament at the very beginning, that's Mario Golf, baby.
Yeah.
Love it.
Right.
But I'm fine with all the modes.
It didn't matter how many shots I took as long as I got to the hole first.
Yeah. So it says so they added some other new stuff as well. They talked about the one-on-one putt. This is only found in solo challenge area with amateur and unlockable pro versions of New Donk City and Shelltop Sanctuary. As the name explains rather well, you have to get on the green in one hit. The fringe doesn't count, and then sink a putt in one. So basically, you got to get a birdie every time. Like, treat it like a par 3. You got to get a birdie.
Nice
let's see here. Let me see. If you get a hole in one, the game clears you, but gets confused and says, "Nice putt, amusing."
Nice bug. Nice bug.
That's a cool. So it doesn't. It lets you continue on if you get a hole in one, but they didn't program it expecting anyone to do that.
Right.
That feels weird in a game built around getting it on the green in one hit. Right. Obviously, people are going to perfect it to the point of
getting a hole
in one.
Right.
Especially in a video game.
Right.
You have to get through all 18 holes.
And the other thing is there's already code in there for hole-in-ones anyways. Isn't there?
Probably. Yeah, there is.
So.
I think there is.
So how did you...
But it's not part of this mode.
God.
You have to get through all 18 holes, but 10 continues, which sounds like a lot, but they could disappear quickly and become unstuck on one particular hole. We said previously that New Donk City is enjoyable, but has a couple of aggravating holes. So getting through this mode will test patience. Shelltop Sanctuary, on the hand, feels like it was designed for this mode. So yeah, okay. So Shelltop was designed. New Donk City was kind of shoehorned in, so they had multiple courses for it.
Right.
It's a good addition. And unlocking the pro and special difficulty will get skillful players. So yeah, again, another nice little mode. And it's using normal golf. It's just making it more challenging. Mm-hmm. Okay, no, it's still par 3, but we want you to make it in 2 instead of 3. I get that. It's just more challenge. Then they had target golf, which I assume that's what this is. Which can be played in a solo challenge variation, but more commonly against AI, local or online opponents. This is an excellent addition as it feels like it could be entertaining for everyone. Players take turns. There are no hugely disruptive specials or running between holes, and it gives a colorful alternative to standard courses. It takes place across 3 variations of a stadium arena, increasing in difficulty, and each one's charming in their own way. It's all about accuracy and a little strategy. You can pick from one of 3 rings to target, with your score determined by how close you are to the center, which makes sense. Hence target golf. The ring segment you hit disappears. So across a 5-shot round, strategies will change as less scoring areas are available. It says double points in the final round. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. That's a typical target mode kind of thing. That's cool. That sounds fine. So then they talk about where they stand on this, and this is just their personal opinions at that point, rather than just talking about the content. So I think that the way Mario Golf stands today after the 4.0 update, Mario Golf Super Rush, is today I would almost upgrade it. Um, the whole of the game from B tier to a low A tier game. It's not to me basically if you're gonna go from if you're gonna go up what we used to tier games was there was B tier, then there was double A, and then there was triple A.
Mm-hmm.
Triple A was always supposed to be the premium best experience. I know it's changed today, and now it's all about budgets and if they want to call it triple A or not.
Right.
But if you're gonna go off the old standing of B tier to up, I would say this probably went to double A, which was always slightly above a B tier game. Because I think all of the additional modes in the online and the multiplayer is really, really good. But they marketed it so heavily on that single player. And it's not just, and I made sure this wasn't just because I cared, right? I could be like, I have a bias. I cared a lot about single player. It's all I paid attention to.
Yeah.
No, I went back and watched their pre-launch trailers and marketing, and they were talking a hell of a lot of single player.
Yeah.
And none of these improvements are about the single player. They did nothing to make single player better. They didn't address any of the complaints. Didn't add any DLC to it.
The campaign wasn't touched,
so that keeps me like, I think if you just just toss out the single player at this point, and then it just becomes a multiplayer Mario Golf game, I think that's fine.
Yeah. This almost feels with this added content, and the added content since what the game should have been from the beginning.
Chat's having a lot of fun with this topic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you guys let me know what you think down in the comments and all that on Mario Golf Super Rush. Some of you guys have probably played a lot more than I have.
Yeah.
I just think this it's kind of like Mario Tennis Aces, where it has everything it needs gameplay wise. But I want to see the creativity expanded into the way Mario Golf used to be and bring that forward to today.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. I get you. I don't know. It's not a bad game by any means, but
not at all.
It just didn't. For what I've played of it, it wasn't up to where, and that could be on me for thinking it's one thing and it came out completely different. But it just sucks.
It does
because it didn't meet my expectations.
It does.
And I was hyped for this game. You guys can go back and watch. I was hyped for this game.
Does that merch command work for normal members?
I don't know.
It's supposed to work for anybody. But I just didn't. My sister was asking where to buy merch.
Yeah.
It's okay. I don't have everything up there right now. We just moved merch stores. But yeah. Also, we're launching a new shirt on Sunday at Prime Giving. So hopefully I see all you guys there on Sunday. We have a new piece of merch launching. Then you guys are gonna want to go check out. Yeah, it doesn't look like that link is working. I'll have to go manually grab it, or figure out why Stream Elements isn't sending it out. You want to get started on the next topic? What do we got? What do we got up next? That was the first two.
Topic. Let me take a look here real quick. And
pretty sure I know what it is. I think it's the Indie World.
Yes, you're right. It is the Indie World.
Which I didn't give you much info on. Because it's mostly a rumor at this point, but it's the possibility of that rumor being a direct. So we're gonna open this up here in a second.
Right.
But let's just switch over right now. And you can kind of read this here. So, why don't you just read this entire tweet here from Samus Hunter?
So from Samus Hunter, updates. It's highly likely that the various MH reveals have been moved to the Game Awards. Not sure what MH is. Oh, Monster Hunter. Yep,
Monster Hunter.
I figured it out as I said it. Splatoon 3 will get some updates later this year. I know there's at least one artwork scheduled to be released by the end of the year, and December's Indie World should not be delayed. So, interesting. And what you were telling me is that generally, after an Indie World comes slightly before a Nintendo Direct.
Yes.
So, what this rumor / leak / whatever you want to call it is hinting at is that because there's going to be an Indie World next month, that it wouldn't be out of hand to think that we'd be getting a Direct next month as well.
Yes.
Is what I'm understanding.
So I'm trying to find a link to the merch store. I had it open at one point. Oh, here it is. Got the link. All right, here you go, sis, and anyone else interested in the merch, since it wasn't popping up. I will throw a link in there right now. So that's a link to the merch that I just linked. And you'll see in the merch, by the way, we got zip hoodies now.
Thank you.
We got t-shirts. We have a pullover sweatshirt. We do have those giant mouse pads, desk mats, and a coffee mug right now. There's going to be a heck of a lot more added in here over the weekend, and we'll get some podcast specific ones up as well. Again, we're working on moving a lot of the merch over from our old store right now.
Mhm.
We're promoting our new store because our old store was on Streamlabs, and
Yeah.
if people want to ask in the Q&A section why we're done with Streamlabs, I can go into that again.
Yeah.
We also had a $5 super chat for a second from Lynn D. But not specific to this, but if we have to add things to your game post-release to make it meet consumer expectations, you didn't make a finished product.
Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah.
that, Lynn. Just on a
Yeah,
general
no,
sense,
for
like
sure.
for games like Splatoon, I feel like they built the expectation that that's the way it's going to be, and so you
Well,
either decide it's worth it at launch or
And
you don't.
here's the thing with Splatoon 2 though, or Splatoon, also.
Well, plus a single player in Splatoon has never felt incomplete.
Yeah.
I can tell you
there's
that. The single player mode in Splatoon and Splatoon 2 never felt incomplete.
Yeah.
Everything they added was for multiplayer.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But then again, it was a brand new IP.
Yeah.
So it's kind of understandable that you could get away with, putting out a game that you thought was complete, but then once you got feedback, realized it really kind of maybe wasn't,
Sure.
and then brought, free updates back in and around there. I can understand getting away with that part of it. Splatoon 2 should have probably not done that because you should have known it would be either a complete game or not because you've had the first one, type of thing.
I think they set it up with Splatoon 1 to be that way, so this is the way the IP is going to be. Splatoon 3 is going to be the same.
Yeah.
So they created the expectation. It's kind of like
I
look
suppose.
at, you got to consider Splatoon, instead of looking at Splatoon more in the light of compared to Nintendo's other games, because it behaves like none of their other games.
Mhm.
You got to look at it like Fortnite. It's got seasons, it's got additional content, it's got map changes, it's got all these things that happen over time, additional weapons, because
True.
its focus, Splatoon's focus, they have a single player mode, which is complete at launch. And they do DLC for it later. But they have a complete single player at launch. So that's done. Everything else we're talking about is multiplayer related. And what's Nintendo's goal with multiplayer games? To keep you playing over an extended period of time. So how do you do that? You trickle the content out.
Yeah.
You trickle the weapon edition, the maps, and the modes, and everything. So I'm fine actually with the way they do it with Splatoon because it's so multiplayer centric focused. But Mario Golf wasn't being treated that way. Like it is, but it's not. Like Splatoon is competitive from day one. It's competitive. There's ranks. You can rank up. You have literal Splatoon 2 tournaments happening at Nintendo. Like it's treated like a competitive game, so it makes sense. Mario Golf wasn't. So, and none of the prior Mario Golf games behave this way. That's another thing to put on top as well.
True.
So there was no expectation for
Yes.
this. So
Yes.
yeah, it was an issue with Mario Golf. Now getting more into this.
Yes.
Obviously, Monster Hunter reveals at the Game Award or moved to the Game Awards or whatever. I'm not really surprised about that. They do have to advertise the PC one coming on as well.
Right.
Plus, they had the big Sunbreak DLC next summer. So I kind of expected Capcom to bring a little Monster Hunter love to the Game Awards. Splatoon 3, getting updates later this year.
Which again would lead to another direct.
Which could be a direct thing because you think about it. She's not saying Splatoon 3 details will be at the Game Awards, so she does know that there's at least one piece of artwork scheduled to be released. If that's all it is, then that's nothing. That's just them giving you like a holiday art piece on Twitter, which is fine, but that's not really updates. I wouldn't call that an update. That's more like a reminder the game exists.
Right.
Unless that art has something new in it that matters for the game.
Yeah, unless the art,
which has traditionally not been the case. And then December's Indie World should not be delayed, which, by the way, there's no confirmation we were ever getting an Indie World. So to mention that, by the way, we're getting Indie World in December. And again, Indie Worlds have traditionally happened before Nintendo Directs. Like a week or two before Nintendo Directs, traditionally, not always. Now, I have two thoughts on this because a lot of people have been asking me, well, Nate, then we're clearly getting a Nintendo Direct in December. No. If the Indie World is in the second half of December, then that sets us up for January, which I think is much more likely to get a Direct in January than it is in December. Because Nintendo doesn't like overlapping with other events like the Game Awards. They're already going to have something shown at the Game Awards. We don't know what.
True.
We hope it's Zelda. We presume Zelda, but we don't know. Something's going to be shown at the Game Awards. And they haven't really done normal directs in December very often. Someone can correct me in the chat on this. I can't. I couldn't. I went back in the Nintendo Directs and I struggled to find one that happened in December. That wasn't just like an individual game advertising direct, like for Smash Bros. Or something. So someone can correct me and let me know if that's something Nintendo has done. Normally their fall direct, which they already had, is usually their last direct of the year. They've been on a normal direct kick of essentially you get one in the spring, you get one in the fall, you get E3's direct, and that's usually the big three that they do. And then every now and then they'll also do one at the very beginning of the year. Now that one isn't always normal direct. Sometimes it's a Nintendo Direct Mini. Sometimes it's a direct for just one game, like a Pokemon Direct for Legends Arceus. I could totally see that being a thing. But if the indie world happens early in the month, that's going to make people think, well, then we're getting a direct in December. And maybe we are. One thing we do know, regardless of if we get a direct soon or not, because I honestly think January, February is probably the earliest we're going to get one. But if we get one, say December or early January, it's because there's a lot coming out next year. We already know of a massive lineup of games next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, they have a lot to advertise already, just from what we know, let alone the games we don't know. So they have a lot to talk about. So they can drop a direct anytime, and we know it's probably going to be full of some good stuff because they have so much to talk about. Obviously, they're not going to talk about it now. We have Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl that just came out. We have the holiday, sales period this weekend. But they don't have a ton happening in December right now besides the Game Awards. Now that their biggest game of the month was pushed out of that month, so we'll see. It's more of a we'll see. Like, do you think Nintendo would be so bold as to pop off a direct?
I just went back and looked at the archives, and from what I've seen, going back to 2013, they've had a total of 3.
In December.
One actual Nintendo Direct in 2013.
Yep, that's
one
one I remember.
Specifically for Smash Brothers final presentation.
Yep.
And then this last year was Super Nintendo World Direct with the Super Nintendo World Universal Studios Japan.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was just showing up, yeah, because they were about to launch that.
Right.
So in other words, they haven't done a normal direct in December since 2013.
Like an actual.
Yeah. I mentioned they did a Smash one. I knew they did a Smash one.
Yeah.
And they obviously did one to advertise the opening of a theme park.
Mm-hmm. So,
but that kind of suggests they don't really do December.
That's
Unless
true.
there's a very literal, very specific thing they need it for. Final Smash, fine. Final advertising for the launch of a brand new, whatever, like a Mario movie direct. I can see, but what? But we don't want to be a direct Mario. It would just be a trailer. But it's one of those situations that I don't see them do. Like, do you? Do you think they're going to?
I mean, if the pattern holds,
the only thing I can think of is for Legends Arceus, but that comes out at the end of January, so they could do that in the beginning of January.
The only other thing I could think of is that we're all thinking that Zelda's at the Game Awards when it's actually going to be at a direct not too long after.
Well, why? What is Zelda coming like early?
Maybe it comes out March.
You're holding on to that hope?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just throwing out ideas here. I'm not saying any of them are smart.
Throw shit at a wall and see what sticks.
Exactly. Exactly. That's my design.
That is literally the Eric design.
Yeah. Throw shit at a wall and see what sticks. I mean,
all right. So then give me So give me some other ideas then on why there could be a direct. I want you to play the devil's advocate. We're getting a direct by the end of December. What will it be for?
We already know how many massive games are coming out in just next year alone. I mean, you've already listed Arceus, Breath of the Wild 2. I'm missing a ton of them, obviously. But, I mean, just to recap at the end of the year, what is coming out again, even the beginning of next year, or at the end of all of next year, there's some massive games. So
2022 is looking like 2017 on repeat.
Yeah.
If not better, because we get Pokemon Legends Arceus. I mean, we don't even. By the way, what we know is not even the entire lineup for next year. That's what's so mind-boggling is just what we know. If that was the entire lineup of exclusives next year, that's already a really damn good year for Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Breath of the Wild 2, Splatoon 3,
Splatoon 3, that's one I
Mario
missed.
plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
God damn it, how did I forget that one?
Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now we have Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp is next year. I don't know.
Is Bayonetta 3 coming out next year? Was that
Bayonetta
confirmed
3
for
was
next-
just recently shown off.
Was
and
it?
sounds like the game is done. So that sounds like that's coming next year. So, like, damn.
Yeah.
We have it already. That's what we know, and we haven't even got there yet. We know there's games announced that we don't know that are going to come next year. Heck, Kirby. Forgot about Kirby.
Yep.
Kirby in the Forgotten Land.
Triangle Strategy?
Triangle
Is that-
Strategy.
is that-
Like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah.
2022 is packed. They're going to need directs and all these little things, minis and everything, just to advertise everything they have. It's insane.
So
There might even be a new gen of Pokemon announced coming out next year in the winter.
Not wrong. You're not wrong.
Like, 2022 is packed. And that's
Uh,
just Nintendo, by the
apparently
way, guys.
there's
If
a-
you game in general, PlayStation and Xbox
Yeah.
are packed next year too. It's
apparently there's also a rumor out there that there's going to be a brand new open world Pokemon RPG in the works. When that was this created.
yeah. When was that article created? That's probably Legends Arceus.
11/21/2021. So 3
Okay.
days ago.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I believe that. GI Rocky hits us with a $9.99. Says happy pre-Thanksgiving. How about a shot? Oh, I got a shot for you. Don't worry about it. We got
There you
you.
go.
We got you. As always, drink responsibly and all that.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. So, what else do you like? Like, give me like okay. First up, general direct or single game direct, or single franchise direct.
Ooh, that's tough.
If there is one. By the way,
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be one. So
Right,
that's
right.
my whole stance.
Right.
I don't think it's happening.
No, I mean
History tells me it's happened like 3 times ever. 2 times were very, very specific, and one was 2013. So
Yes, you're not wrong. Yeah, I could see it if Breath or Zelda is coming out beginning of next year. I could see a single Zelda, like full on direct, single game to just massively
Breath of the
dump.
Wild, too.
Yeah, for Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
I could maybe see one, but then again, that'd be more of a Pokemon company doing it for Arceus. So would that actually be a direct in itself? I could see it being like a Pokemon direct or whatever they want to call it.
Mhm.
Whatever they've called them in the past. I could see one of that being, hey, reminder, this game is coming out. This is the newest updates to it. It's things you haven't seen before. We've touched up the graphics here, and here, and this and this and that. I could see it. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't, but
Andrew would be
I could
surprised
see
if
it.
it didn't.
I could see it.
Yeah, that's
And again,
interesting.
when does the indie thing fall? Because again, if the indie thing,
If it's
the indie
true.
world, again, if that's true, if that falls at the end of the month, then again, the 1 to 2 weeks afterwards would put it in January. So again, it's when does the indie world fall? That could definitely decide whether there's one in December or January. I expect one in between. By the end of January, there will be one.
Do you think there'll be one before Legends Arceus?
Yes. When does that come out?
28th of January.
Yes, I would say so. Sometime between.
I do think there'll be some
Beginning
sort of
December,
Pokemon event,
and-
and they could call it a Pokemon Direct
Mhm.
before then, where they'll be talking a lot of blowout for Legends Arceus. Maybe they'll have some updates, or I don't want to say as far as DLC, but something for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. And then who knows? Maybe we get a tease for whatever else they have after Legends Arceus. But I could see there being some sort of Pokemon Direct for sure in January. I just don't think there's going to be one next, like a direct next month. By the way, there's no specific rumor there's going to be a direct next month. It's more of there's a
Pattern.
rumor on an Indie World next month, which usually predates a direct.
It's a pattern recognition.
And you could
thing.
go, well, then why don't you talk more about the Indie Worlds? Because the Indie World, the problem with speculating on Indie Worlds is that there's significantly more games that could be in the Indie World versus a Nintendo Direct.
100%.
Like, Indie World is pretty much one of, you grab a dozen to 30 of the thousands of indie games coming in the next year, and it could be in the direct. Like, I could go, oh yeah, is this finally we're going to see Hollow Knight Silk Song again? Maybe, probably not. Like, That's the problem with speculating on indie worlds, is that it's going to be either games they've already done, or it's going to be a bunch of random pick from 1,000 other games. So that's why if people, I'm not trying to disrespect indie worlds. It's just there's too many in comparison to like Nintendo Directs. We can talk about what are the big games going to be,
Right.
because we know
Mhm.
like what the big games that at least are announced at this point.
For sure.
Okay. So then, obviously, we talked a little bit about Zelda there, and I feel like this is a good transition because over the last week or two, the Zelda 35th anniversary has come back up, which, by the way, I thought was done because I thought all we were getting. Let me grab one quick here. Hold on, let me grab here. We got one here on hand. Oh, got a couple on hand actually, because we're giving away 2 of these bad boys during our Prime Giving event on Sunday.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, we got some Zelda Game & Watches here. And we're giving away some of these during on our Sunday event. And the thing is, that was supposed to be it. That was supposed to be all Nintendo was officially doing for the Zelda 35th anniversary.
Mhm.
Now, people have argued, this is one reason why I was hoping Game Over Jesse could come out today, because he's one of them, that they have been celebrating the Zelda 35th anniversary all year. Look at the new Skyward Sword amiibo, and then the Skyward Sword HD, updates to Hyrule Warriors. But my counter argument to any sentiment like that is, one, AJ Nomo never specifically said any of that had anything to do with 35th anniversary of Zelda.
Right.
And this would presume that without the 35th anniversary of Zelda, none of that stuff happens anyways. See, when I think about stuff that celebrates an anniversary, it's stuff that's happening because of the anniversary, not happening just because the timing happens to line up with the anniversary. Skyward Sword HD was probably always going to come this year, right? New DLC for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity was probably always going to come this year. A new amiibo for Skyward Sword was always going to come. So, like, that's why I think why EJ Nomo specifically didn't note that Skyward Sword or anything that has it. So, people can make that argument, but I always go, that stuff was happening anyway. The only thing we know wouldn't have happened was Zelda Game & Watch. Because that was mentioned as we did this for the 35th anniversary. So the 35th anniversary came back up, even though AJ Nomo said at the time there was no other games in the works for the 35th anniversary, or anything in the works really, because of this tweet by Samus Hunter again, who originally said back on November 18th, the celebration for the 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda will continue at the Game Awards. That already got minds racing. The Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, Breath of the Wild 2 trailer drop, title revealed.
Right.
New merchandise, Zelda Legos, you know, Zelda concert for sure, like Zelda music at the show is a given. Jeff Keighley loves music. He does live orchestras sometimes, or back in person. Wouldn't it be great to have a little compilation song list like what I do at the beginning of my streams? Like, it would be wonderful and amazing. And I still kind of expect there to be some sort of musical recognition of the 35th, just because that's the way Jeff Keighley is, and Zelda has amazing music, and everyone seems to like when Zelda music is played at these events. But she clarified this, and we talked about this in private, and she kind of summarized it. She went in more detail, and we talked about it in another video. But so, given the follow-up to the tweet, I want to specify a couple of things. I don't currently know specific details about it, but here's what it could mean. So basically, she's speculating. She doesn't know, and I can confirm what she does and doesn't know because of additional things we've talked about behind the scenes. So she's speculating that there could be a concert, which concert is more of a, there's a compilation, 35th anniversary compilation. They're not, people kind of confuse, like when you get a musical performance at like an event like this, they call it, sometimes people call it I don't call that a concert.
Right.
A concert's the whole event.
Right.
So it's not a concert event, it's a performance.
Yeah.
At a Game Award.
Yeah, that's
whatever. That's just mincing words, and
right.
from different countries, and you know they might like maybe in the UK they would call it a concert, even though in here we're like that's the whole event. That's
right.
Anyways. Trailer for the sequel to Breath of the Wild, which that's hype. Collaboration with other games. And she mentioned that there's supposed to be some Zelda DLC with Monster Hunter or something.
Interesting.
So she clarified behind the scenes with me on some of this stuff, and essentially what I have come to understand is that the only thing she really seems confident about is that, at least based on what she knows, and again, speculation, rumors, tinfoil hat this.
Yep.
Is that it will not be related to the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD, and I pressed her hard on that because I said, "You just told me you don't know what it is, so how can you definitively say it's not X, Y, and Z when you just admitted you don't know that? You're contradicting yourself."
Right.
Doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And she goes, "Well, that's because by this point, I would have seen marketing material for those games if they were about to be revealed. Now, she saw marketing material for Skyward Sword HD ahead of time and talked about it. So there is some validity there where, well, she did talk about Skyward Sword HD before it came out. She's not talking about these. We have other places like Jeff Grubb saying, oh, these games are coming next year. So it would be weird if those games are going to come next year and they do a Zelda 35th celebration and they don't talk about the games there. Would be strange. But this is just what she said. That's why she's really confident that's not what this is. So from there, then it's just, well, what's left? There's additional content in other games, which I don't think we'd call that a Zelda 35th celebration. If they mentioned Zelda 35th anniversary at the Game Awards and that's all that's announced, that is a shit show.
That is almost a slap in the face.
That's
Zelda
bad.
fans.
That's bad. You don't just say, oh yeah, for Zelda's 35th anniversary, we're adding this content to Monster Hunter, or we're adding this content to Mario Party, right? We're adding in a special item that's Triforce related or something.
Link or Zelda in the Mario Party.
I'm fine with that. That's huge.
I mean, yeah. But, I mean, to only allow the 35th anniversary to be mainly
a Zelda Game & Watch, which already feels insulting.
And then, here, we're going to add Zelda content to this game, this game, this game, and this game. That's just, like I said, it almost
they can only get away with it.
Slap in the face.
They can get away with it if it culminates with a new trailer for Breath of the Wild 2 that also drops the title. Now, look, that's not saying that Breath of the Wild 2 is 35th anniversary related, because it's not. It was going to exist anyways.
Yeah.
But you can at least say, look, we're sorry that we didn't do more, but what we can do is show you more for the next game that you're really hyped for, and give you the actual title, and they know people are going to run wild in speculation over the title and create a billion videos on it, and that's going to be your entertainment till E3 or whenever they show the game again.
Yeah.
Now, caveat, if it is ready to go for early next year and is going to launch in March, you could argue that's a pretty damn big reveal for the 35th anniversary. You could say we're capping the 35th anniversary with the release. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. So I think it's more of a, if there's a celebration, music, and then maybe some minor DLC announcements, but they can only get away with just that if it caps with a title reveal for Breath of the Wild 2.
Right.
They don't, anything short of that, if that's all they do, it's going to be like, what a tease.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't blame Jeff Keighley for it, because they're not promising this stuff, but it's kind of like, but still, everyone knows we've been really disappointed with the treatment of the Zelda series for the 35th. At least we can argue, well, it was Metroid's 35th as well. Yeah, and we got Metroid Dread, so like, surprise.
Yeah.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So like, you got something, right?
Right.
Well,
and then wasn't it Donkey's 40?
Yeah, and we haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, we do know Donkey Kong is rumored to have its own movie in the mix now after Mario.
Right.
And we do have a rumored Donkey Kong game. We don't have really anything for Zelda rumored besides, we already know the game is made, and hey, Jeff Grubb said we're getting the other Wii U ported games at some point.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We don't have any real specific rumors. And by the way, Zelda itself, as much rumors can exist out there, a lot of the rumors end up being fake anyways.
Well,
because Zelda is that franchise that Nintendo does a great job of not having leaks from.
Yeah.
The things that leak are always marketing material related, and that's usually really close to when they're going to talk about it officially anyway.
Right.
Like the lanyards for E3 get leaked every single year, but like sometimes weeks before anybody really has them. And if there's Zeldas on them and they haven't announced a Zelda game yet, well, guess what's going to happen at E3? We're getting a Zelda game announced.
Right.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually I'm very curious what this could be, or what Zelda thing could be at the Game Awards, if anything. And I'm very careful, like we'll talk in future episodes here, but I don't want to just limit our Nintendo talk about the Game Awards to just Zelda.
Right.
I think that's obviously, that's what's floating out there. Breath of the Wild 2 is up for an award, so it would actually fit really well to show Breath of the Wild 2 after, like, say, if it won most anticipated game, it'd be awesome to follow that up with a trailer.
Trailer /
perfect marketing. By the way, Nintendo, if you find out ahead of time that it's going to win, get on that.
Right. Name drop, release date.
You think Jeff Keighley will turn down a late edition Breath of the Wild 2 trailer to his show? No, he'll fit it in.
Oh, yeah. No, he'll find a way. He'll find a way for sure to get that in. It's
so.
Without a doubt.
I would say, what do you expect them to do? I really feel like I'm confused a little. Samus Hunter, basically, for those who don't know, this is what I've been told by Samus Hunter, and I know there's a lot of people that don't like her as a leaker, and there's other people that do like her because she has had a lot of stuff right. Is based on what she's told me, she gets all of her information from marketing from Nintendo of Europe. And that's fine. So if she knows Zelda 35th anniversary is happening at the Game Awards, that means she's seen marketing material for Zelda 35th at the Game Awards.
Mm-hmm.
But the marketing material could be very vague. It could literally just be the Zelda 35th, like a logo. Yeah. It could just be a logo.
Yeah.
Like it could be very vague. So it might not tell her anything.
Right.
Other than Zelda 35th anniversary just happening at the Game Awards. So that's like how she would know, okay, it's going to happen because I've seen advertising for it, but I haven't seen what they're advertising specifically yet. So if that's the case, and that part is true, what do you think? Because she basically said, I don't know anything else.
Right.
I haven't seen marketing, but you also haven't, by the way, I haven't seen marketing material for, she conveniently leaves out, I haven't seen marketing material for the Wind Waker HD. You also haven't seen marketing material for Breath of the Wild 2 either, and yet you're saying that might happen. So it's one of those, now we can, we confidently know that game exists,
right?
But you haven't seen new marketing material for it.
True.
So my thing is, everything she says after saying the 35th Legend of Zelda anniversary is going to be at the Game Awards, there's going to be something. Everything after that is just her speculation, and she doesn't really know anything else.
For sure.
Because she told me she doesn't. So, what do you think is going to happen?
What I'd like to see happen. I know will never, ever happen.
What do you got?
I'd like to see a performance of the opening title song of Breath of the Wild 2.
And then have them not tell you that's what it is?
Yeah. That'd be.
Even then what if they did that, and then like everyone's like, man, what is this? It sounds really okay. Can we hear some Zelda kicks in? Okay, cool. Is this like the 35th anniversary? What is this? And all of a sudden, the screen turns into the opening screen,
and then
title screen for the new game with the title reveal.
That'd be sweet.
That would be sick.
That would be freaking awesome.
That would be phenomenal. And even if we don't see anything else,
right?
They don't show any more footage of the game. Just the name with the title screen.
The open world title screen while playing the opening credit.
Oh.
The Breath of the Wild sound, like the opening number. Do it for Breath of the Wild 2, and then reveal the freaking name.
That would be sick.
That would be awesome.
Nintendo, you should be hiring us on how to reveal things for your games. I'm telling you, we would make people hype this up. People wouldn't stop talking about Kirby if you would have let me tell you how to tease that Kirby game.
Freaking, I mean, it almost looks to me when I saw the trailer like for Kirby, it almost felt like a zombie wasteland. So get Kirby like really dark in zombie wasteland, and then
yeah, baby, yeah. Okay, so what else?
Oh,
or do you think that's what you want? What do you think will happen?
I could just see some Breath of the Wild music being played, or
some sort of 35th anniversary comp music.
Yeah, as they're announcing what games are going to be released for the Zelda 35th, they'll have like an orchestra in the background playing the theme songs for that said game.
Yeah,
I could see that. Kind of a talk over the orchestra type of thing where they're revealing what they're going to do for the 35th type of thing.
Well, what will they reveal then?
I mean, the ports from all the Wii
U games.
Yeah, Wii U games.
Okay, so the Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD.
Yep. Wouldn't surprise me if they went back to like Majora's Mask, things like that, brought them forward. I don't know. There's so much they could do.
A Zelda 35 game like they did with Mario.
Yeah.
There is a lot they could do. It's just, did they really pull that all together in 6 months? Port-wise, sure.
Yeah.
We already know the Wii U ports don't take that
long.
Right. But it'll be interesting. It's really going to be interesting to see what, if anything, happens. And again, this is where we have to be careful. This is where we have to hype responsibly. Might be a little tease of something coming on Sunday. Need to hype responsibly because we don't know for sure there'll be anything Zelda. This is one person. It hasn't been corroborated by other leakers. And we don't know what there would be there, if anything. So we have to be careful in getting too hyped for Zelda because Zelda is obviously my favorite franchise. Breath of the Wild is my favorite game of all time. Breath of the Wild 2 is my most hyped game of all time. Without having actually played it. Breath of the Wild became my most hyped game after I played the demo. But Breath of the Wild 2, I'm saying is based on my experience with Breath of the Wild is my most hyped game that I'm looking forward to. But we do have to be careful because we don't know that anything will be there. And I'm not going to be... Sure. No. I can tell you right now, I will not be disappointed at the Game Awards if there's nothing Zelda there.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
Because there doesn't have to be. Now, will I be disappointed if Nintendo doesn't bring anything good? Yeah. This is a very big advertising opportunity for Nintendo, who has a console that's at 100 million units. They are now officially in China, and the Chinese market's watching the Game Awards. There's probably going to be over 100 million people watching the Game Awards. It is a very bad on Nintendo if they don't take advantage of that marketing opportunity. This marketing opportunity is bigger than E3. I don't know if people realize how big the Game Awards is, viewership-wise. It is massive, and it's worldwide. And Nintendo now has their platform in every major market. So there's no reason for them to not take advantage of this. So if they have nothing major, if they just talk about, oh yeah, we got this upcoming brain game, Nintendo. Come on, man. You'd be better off advertising Ring Fit Adventures coming to China than that.
Bringing back Brain Age.
Well, I mean, they are. They have a brain game coming that's basically a sequel to Brain Age. They do. Nice. They factually do. I just don't want them to be like, that's what we're advertising here. That's our major thing.
At the Game Awards.
Man. One, a pain in the butt.
Right.
So I want to be careful there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But also, Zelda, baby!
Right.
Woo! I always get hyped for Zelda, and I'm trying not to.
Yeah.
I really need to hype responsibly. For sure. Hardcore. You need to just get it tattooed on the forehead. Hype responsibly. Just tattoo it.
Right.
Oh my God. What?
No.
Wait till we have a betting special that's the punishment to tattoo.
Oh God.
Oh God.
No. So it's kind of like, dude, where's my car? I have hype. You have responsibly on the back.
And we're always like, what do we do? Hold on.
Hype responsibly.
Oh my God. That would be hardcore.
Yeah, what?
Man, we've been taking our bets pretty serious if we're gonna throw some tats on there.
Yeah, right.
You never know. Maybe someday. I'm okay with like certain tats in like certain areas. As long as I would say if there ever was the loser would get to choose where the tats put.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh yeah, it's going on your forehead.
Yeah. No.
You're gonna make me wear makeup every day.
Left butt cheek.
Left butt cheek. Right underneath the taint.
Just
no. Hey, if you're lucky, you'll get to see my tattoo later.
Yeah. You want to see my tattoo? It's the Triforce.
It's just an excuse to whip your crap out. Just so
it's
the Triforce.
Welcome aboard with an arrow pointing down.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's kind of a neat thing. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we'll have more to talk about with the Game Awards as we get closer to it. Jeff Keighley always likes to tease things. There'll start to be rumors and leaks and stuff like that as well. So we'll have plenty to talk about. We did do our betting special. We have everything written down. So it should be a lot of fun. That's by the way, our next big event. So we have our podcast every week. We have other streams I do. But we have Prime Giving this Sunday coming up at 8:30 Central time. We're giving away a Switch OLED bundle with some extra stuff with it, including a Satisfy grip. We got some Zelda Game & Watches, a Switch Lite. We're being able to give away a special edition thanks to the contributions of Nintendo Academy. They're going to be coming on the show for a little bit to talk. And so a whole bunch of other stuff we're going to be giving away. So that's happening at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. You're going to want to be there live. We do have a separate entry form for the grand prize, though. But our next event after that is actually December 9th for the Game Awards themselves. We'll be doing a pre-show, post-show. Eric won't be there right away at the beginning of the pre-show, but he'll be there probably sometime before the Game Awards starts, and then we'll go from there. We know the Game Awards is stupidly long. Like, we'll probably go on a little bit to midnight because that's just what the Game Awards is.
We know that they'll be announcing some of their.
Oh yeah, some of their awards will be in their pre-show. So like, hopefully Eric's here in time for their pre-show. It's going to be. We're going to kind of play by ear there, but we'll try to we'll do our best to make the Game Awards fun as well. What I can say is the Game Awards is usually Well, it'll be better than E3, entertainment wise. So I don't know. I don't feel like I need to provide as much entertainment this time around. But we'll have a few things happening to try to make it more fun. Like we'll be doing some fan polls throughout the event and getting a lot of feedback that way. And trying to make it as interactive as we can. So basically you enjoy your time watching the Game Awards with us here. Because obviously you can always watch them on their own. But we hope that you choose to enjoy them with us.
Prime Giving?
Prime Giving is our next big thing on Sunday. This upcoming Sunday. Like it's almost here. It's Wednesday. We got Thanksgiving tomorrow, and then 3 days later it's Prime Giving time. So it's gonna be awesome for that. If you want to know when the Game Awards events start, I don't know yet because we don't know the exact hours of the Game Awards. Once the hours for the Game Awards are announced, then I could set up the stream, and we'll go from there. Verizon 5G's the GOAT. Always remember.
Oh gosh. Yes, it is.
All right. At this point, I don't mind taking a few fan topics from the chat or a few questions if you guys have it before we wrap things up here on episode 27. So just be sure to ping at Nintendo Prime in the chat and ask, suggest a topic or a few questions maybe you guys want to answer before Eric and I head out of here. So let me know what you got here, guys. Just glancing at the chat a little bit. Breath of the Wild, all DLC included in Japan. Yes, they do have a DLC bundle in Japan. It includes everything for Breath of the Wild. Kind of crazy that they have that here, but they don't have it in the United States. Think of all the different versions we've had. We've had a version with a little guidebook. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know why we don't have a version that includes all DLC at this point. Granted, Japan hasn't had it very long either, but it would make a lot of sense. If we don't have any fan topics or anything, that's all cool. We can we can just kind of we got a few. El Dodger wants to tell us that a birthday is tomorrow.
Nice.
Well, let's see if let me see if the happy birthday auto tune's gonna work. I don't know if the auto tune's working. We'll find out in a moment. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Ellie Dodger. Happy birthday to you. Hopefully it worked, because if it didn't, then I kind of used a little bit of the birthday rhythm there, which means I'm going to get copyright claimed because the birthday song is copyright claimed.
Fantastic.
Yeah, can't sing people happy birthday on live stream anymore with the normal beat.
Yeah.
So it worked. Cool. Good. See, I like when it works because auto-tune changes it up enough that I don't get copyright claimed. Well, happy birthday. Let's see here. Koopa Slayer says, do you think we'll get another new 2D Zelda game for the Switch? I'm going to presume by 2D you mean top-down. I know trust me, I've been a part of the Zelda fan base for a long time. We used to describe them as 2D and 3D, but that was always an incorrect way to frame it. It's top-down, and then it's hard to describe the other one as anything other than 3D, but...
Right.
Third person. I don't know. They're all third person. So, top-down and console Zelda, but then there's top-down console. See? Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Top-down and 3D. I'll just stick with that. Do I think there'll be another top-down Zelda game? Yeah. On Switch? Yeah. Look forward to 2023 for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
I think Grezzel's working on one right now. What do you think? Yes or no?
I can see it.
Or do you think it'll be not till next gen?
No, I could. Oh, it depends on when next gen is.
Well, remember, they said we're at the midpoint, so it's another 5 years.
Yeah, so then, I mean, yeah, I can see it.
I don't think current Switch is going to last 5 years. Now, if there's a Switch Pro that gets released, maybe.
Right.
Let's see here. Another question. Misk Star X just wants to throw out a little compliment. I like the consistency in your videos and streams. Well, thank you.
Nice.
I try. Any other questions? Logan LeBlanc wants to know, do we get a new Mario Kart next year? Remember, we haven't had a new Mario Kart since Wii U.
I know. It'd be nice.
But also, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is not only the best-selling Switch game, it's the best-selling Mario Kart game of all time.
Yeah, it just keeps selling.
And they keep bundling it.
Stop buying it! Then we will get one.
Stop buying it, everybody!
Then we'll get one.
Yeah, I would like to say yes, and it would be huge. I mean, that could push Switch to 150 mil. Mm-hmm. Easy. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, if we're truly at the midpoint, then sure.
You would hope then.
Second half of Switch's life, right on with Mario Kart 9, baby.
Yeah, No, for
Make
sure.
that the best-selling Mario Kart game of all time.
Absolutely.
But I do think there's plans, or that one's at least preliminarily being worked on, because they're not done with the Mario Kart series, obviously. So it's one of the biggest IPs. The guy ain't done. What?
I mean, yeah, you'd hope.
What's the skepticism on them being done with Mario Kart?
No, because they haven't freaking released one in
Because they didn't
forever.
need to, because it resold. They just repackaged the one they made on Wii U because Wii U tanked.
Yeah, I know.
Technically, we don't have a brand new Zelda game on Switch either.
Yeah, I know.
So we're not getting a new one of those? They already know.
We are.
So, yeah,
Breath
of
of Wild
course.
2.
We're good.
Yeah.
That's just like saying, because next generation, they just port Smash Bros. Ultimate and just package in all the DLC that we're never getting a new Smash Bros. Game again. Yeah, we are. They don't sell 20 plus million, be the best selling game they've ever made, and then not do it again.
Yeah.
He's always a skeptic. It's just the way he is. He just likes to push my buttons.
I'd much rather set myself up for disappointment and be surprised than get all hyped.
So then what was all this business about playing the beginning trailer music for Breath of the Wild 2?
That's what I want.
Yeah, you're building up the hype.
Necessarily mean that's
And
what
this
I
question
think is going to happen.
Anyways, I don't think we're gonna get one next year, but I mean, you can never say no. Timothy comes in and says, "Your podcast is amazing, by the way. I would love to see a more mature Zelda movie, game, or show. A game that wouldn't be worried about violent death and things like that." So, there's a lot of death in Zelda over the years. There's death in Skyward Sword. There's champions. They all die. In fact, when you play the DLC, sort of see them die. So like, I think what you're asking for is for Zelda to not be respectful to what Zelda's always been. I understand wanting a more mature. There's been really mature themes in Zelda, like super mature theme, dealing directly with death. Like it doesn't really get more mature than that. But when it comes to the violence, like a violent death, when you're thinking of the Mortal Kombat style deaths, or you're thinking of some of the action movie deaths that happen out there, that's not what Zelda is. So it's almost like you're asking Zelda to become something it's not. I think it could definitely explore a more mature like show/movie setting. Sure, but the focus of the action shouldn't be on the veracity of the violence, because that's never been what Zelda focuses on. And now you could argue that's because they're trying to appeal to the most amount of people, and that's fine. But I think that's kind of asking Zelda to be something it's not. So I would definitely not want to see violent deaths sort of be part of it.
No,
and you could argue there's been violent deaths. I mean, God, in the Wind Waker, you literally fly up in the air and stab a sword through Ganondorf's head. I mean, that's pretty violent.
You're not wrong.
But there's not like the blood gushing, gory stuff everywhere.
No gore, no
and
blood.
like that's just not what Zelda's done. Now there's been blood in Zelda, but it's just not been like that. And I don't think we should ever expect Zelda to be that way.
No.
I think that needs to stick to the games that belongs in. Again, you could be mature without having lots of gore and emphatic violence. Like that doesn't actually have anything to do with maturity. In fact, some of the most immature experiences out there have that.
Mm-hmm.
Maturity levels aren't based on that.
Yeah.
So, but it's fine that you enjoy that stuff. I just don't think it fits with Zelda. Personal thing. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I don't see them going away from what they've done. I've seen a lot in the comments. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, don't fix it. I don't even know if I would consider that fixing it.
Yeah, I think it's just fundamentally changing the gameplay of the game.
Yeah.
Like adding the veracity and violence to the combat changes what the combat is about. I don't think that fits.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like when you kill a bokoblin, you blow it with a bomb. Yeah, it goes flying, but it's not like it explodes into a billion body parts and they go flying all over. And there's blood and guts everywhere, like there would be in reality. You blow up something with a bomb, that's what would happen.
Oh, right.
But like, it doesn't do that. That doesn't change how fun it feels. Definitely doesn't change how mature it is.
Yeah.
It's just this is the way Zelda's always been. So why change? The combat's never really been the problem. So why You know, and they've already made changes to the combat, by the way, breakable items and all. Like they're making common sense changes that advance the series. Sometimes in ways people don't like, versus focusing on just having violence to have violence. That doesn't really jive. I mean, I can understand maybe you're saying you want an M-rated Zelda game. I get that. But what would make a Zelda game M-rated? It would probably be violence like that. Because nothing else, they're not going to suddenly get all sexual. You know, they're not going to suddenly have sex scenes. They're not going to suddenly be naked. They're not going to suddenly be doing anything else that deserves an M rating besides the violence of the combat. So I don't think that really fits, to be honest. And I'm saying this is a 35-year-old that really enjoys this kind of game.
Yeah.
Like Back 4 Blood, very gory, very violent.
For sure.
But I expect that from that game, right? That's the kind of game it is.
Oh God.
What?
I'm just trying to think of what. There was the 3 Zelda games that weren't like on
the CDI
Nintendo
games.
Yeah, the CDI games.
Yeah.
The only way I could ever see like a more mature, like maybe getting away with one of that would be like an actual like another CDI type game.
But it was still officially licensed, and they didn't even do that.
Right. But that would still
Nintendo would have never let that fly anyway. So I don't. It's just not going to happen. Now you could argue like they could have a Witcher style show, but maybe with less gore. Mm-hmm. Sure. Mm-hmm. I would love to see a more mature take on Zelda in a show or movie format, like a live action. I don't know if we're ever going to get that.
Yeah.
But I would be. But that's also separate. Because you'll be marketing like if the Legend of Zelda TV series happens on Netflix or something, and it's like, you know, advertised to the same color as The Witcher, well then it's being advertised to teens and adults. It's not being advertised in the same way Zelda games are necessarily. So, but that's all hypothetical. It's kind of like Chris Pratt being the voice of Mario. Whoever thought that day was coming? Which apparently, newsflash, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. According to the people that are working on the movie, it's phenomenal.
I did see that. That's crazy.
You won't believe how phenomenal that Mario voice is. It's like, I mean, what would I expect you to say? It was bad?
Yeah, right.
Like
it was absolute trash.
It's like when you hear that, it's like, oh yeah, apparently it's phenomenal. Oh man, it's gonna get even more hype. But it's like, you realize that these are the people behind the movie that are not going to say anything negative, right?
You can't come out and say
they're not going to say, well, you asked about the voice. What's he supposed to say? Yeah, we're still working on it. Well, that's not good,
right? No,
you got to be like,
it's come out next year.
It's phenomenal. Yeah, December 21st next year.
So, yeah, we're still working
phenomenal.
on it.
Like they have. You can't believe you need a third party that has no vested interest,
right?
In whether it does well or not. Not the people making the movie.
Right.
So is the voice really good or not? I don't know. I'm sure it's not as bad as people think it. Maybe it's worse. It could become a meme unto itself.
It's very well possible that they think it's phenomenal, but the rest of the world's like, what the hell is this shit?
If it's not good, it at least is going to give us a lot of memeable moments.
Oh, God, yes.
You guys remember the CDI games? What do we remember them most for? YouTube poop and memeable moments.
Yep.
If the voice is really that bad and the jokes are really that lame, we're about to have years, decades, essentially, of Mario movie memes. And that alone will be worth this movie existing.
Yeah.
Or it'll all be good. And then, cool. We got the beginning of the Mario multiverse.
Yeah.
Nintendoverse, baby.
Yeah.
Did you see anything else people wanted asked a little bit?
A couple of them, just kind of slap them together. Sorry, I'm not going to shout it all out, though. But can we see a Mario game at the Game Awards? Do you want a Mario Galaxy 3? And do you think we'll get a Luigi's Mansion 4 next year?
That's a big batch. So Mario at the Game Awards, I always think is possible because Mario does have a more universal appeal. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's where they would put a kart game. I also don't think kart games need events like this.
Right.
But an Odyssey 2 drop, something like that.
That would be out of left field. I mean, you'd figure there'd be some sort of rumor or.
And the thing is, you could argue, does Mario need that kind of marketing? But
no, but it will show well. I mean,
it will show well. It'll be a showstopper. It should be a showstopper kind of game. And add some variety.
And you never know. Maybe the Mario game is a Galaxy 3.
Or maybe it's because they are Breath of the Wild-ing the damn Mario series, and we're about to get something we've never seen Mario do before, which is what I love about Mario, is that you just never the hell know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
outer space, Cappy using a freaking water jetpack. Who the hell knows what's coming next?
Right.
On the point of what was the middle
Luigi's,
one? Another Luigi's Mansion
Mario Galaxy 3.
one.
You want one.
Yeah, everyone would
Yeah.
love another Galaxy game. I don't think they're ever doing it though. So I would say that's more of a pipe dream fan wish list. It's just like me saying I want them to do another Snowboarder Kid. It's just not going to happen, even though I want them to.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we'll ever get a remade Snowboards Kid, but a brand new one, I just don't see them doing that. As for Luigi's Mansion, we're definitely getting a fourth game.
Oh, for sure.
Luigi's Mansion 3 sold basically 10 million copies. We're clearly getting a fourth game. It is the most popular Luigi's Mansion game ever. They're not going to just let that popularity go.
Well, no.
But will it be ready next year? Like, Next Level Games is basically the only company that makes them. Will it be ready to go next year? The last one came out in 2019. That would be a 3-year gap if it comes out October-ish next year. Which would make sense for Luigi's Mansion. So that'd be about a 3-year gap. That's enough time to get one made, but most of it came during a pandemic.
Yeah.
I don't know how much Next Level Games is
2023?
affected by the pandemic. By
Yeah.
the way, they're in Canada, so I have no idea what things have been like up there. So
2023? Maybe then?
I'm confident Luigi's Mansion 4 is in the works.
Yeah.
I just can't confidently say when it's going to come. Logic tells you next year makes sense. But that's not being considerate of the pandemic. So 2023 probably makes more sense. And I know some people are worried about, well, when does it not make sense because there's the next generation platform. I hope we never get to a point, and we've been at this point every time with Nintendo, that they're going to hold back the release of a game because there's a new platform.
Yeah.
I want them to take a page out of Sony's book. Okay, yeah, PlayStation 5 came out last year. Yeah, we're still going to give you The Last of Us Part 2. We're still going to drop Ghost of Tsushima. We're still going to drop Spider-Man. We're going to drop all this stuff, even though that platform's coming up, because we don't care. 1, backwards compatible. You can play it on that platform anyways. 2, well, we'll just make a remastered version and put it on there anyways, so you can rebuy it and double dip. I'd rather Nintendo go that route than just like, nope, we have to just have nothing released for a year so we can prepare for a launch of a platform. It's like, no, there should be an exclusive at launch, but you don't have to hold back your entire library. If you have it done, if Luigi's Mansion 4 is done for Switch, but there's going to somehow be a new gen one in 2023, it's like, so release it on Switch.
That tends to be Nintendo's MO, though.
I know. That's what they always do. They let platforms lose all relevancy.
Yeah.
Complete. Oh, sales are down. We stopped making games for it. It's dead for 2 years.
I wonder why sales are down. You haven't released a new game
2 years, and then they
while.
launch a new thing that's like, this is a sequel to the old thing. Yeah, that was relevant 2-3 years ago, but isn't relevant today. Way to go. How does Sony maintain their sales? Because they maintain the relevancy through the life of the console.
Yeah.
Till the very end. They don't just let it die and whimper
and
out.
sometimes past.
Yeah. So
one other question, quick. Would you count Sparks of Hope as a Mario game at the Game Awards? If we see stuff from Sparks of Hope, so that could be.
No.
No.
When I think Mario game, I think mainline.
Mario.
I think mainline. Not spin-off. So not Mario Kart, not Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, Mario Party.
Fair enough.
Mario plus Rabbids, Mario plus Sonic at the Olympic Games. All those to me are separate. They're part of the Mario universe, but they're the spin-offs of that Mario universe rather than the main brux of it. And by the way, I know that Mario Kart at this point is actually the most popular part of the Mario series, and I totally understand that. Spin-offs can be incredibly successful.
Right.
That's not the debate. The debate is when I think Mario game, you're thinking mainline.
Do you think we will see anything with Sparks of Hope at the Game Awards? I'm hoping so. But
Well, I'm thinking on the DLC they added to the original. Sparks of Hope ended up selling really, really well. I mean, it sold like a Nintendo game. It sold phenomenally well.
You mean Kingdom Battle?
No, sorry, Kingdom Battle did. Yeah. So I think it's Sparks of Hope, and it showed well.
Yeah.
It was one of the highlights at E3.
Didn't take much.
Breath of the Wild 2 was there.
I know.
Xbox had some good. There was some stuff. It was just so spread out.
Yes.
That was the problem, really.
Yes.
The same criticism I had for Jeff Keighley for Summer Game Fest the year before is the exact criticism I have for E3. Ironically, did it in a much shorter window. They E3, you had a day worth of stuff to show, not 4. But Verizon 5G, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
As a joke, I kind of want to get a Verizon 5G banner. Put
Nice.
that there.
Nice.
Put that there. Instead of putting up E3 banners next
Yeah.
year, if we do a
Yeah.
show like that, just put up
Yeah.
Verizon 5G banners
Right,
everywhere.
right.
Just that's
Well,
like
it
Verizon
made
5G
it
everywhere.
better. It made
We're
our
gonna
gaming
walk in
better.
wearing Verizon
Yeah.
polos and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, it made our gaming better.
Made
They're
our
not
gaming.
gonna- they're not going to tell us
Guys,
how,
it's
but
been a year. Our gaming's better because of Verizon 5G.
it made the channel better.
Verizon 5G. Are you
made
guys
the channel
actually
better.
sponsored by?
No.
5G, everybody. That would
We're
be
not
hilarious.
sure how it made
That
our
would be a
channel
nice
better.
spoof. That would be a nice spoof.
We're not sure how it made our channel better. They didn't describe that to us, but we know it made it better.
Especially if we make it like all tearaway stuff. So we do like a
Yeah.
little running spoof
Yeah.
on it. Then 2 minutes later, Eric, I can't do this anymore. Just rip off, tears down.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what the set really looks
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Think we're
Yeah.
just going to advertise Verizon 5G this whole time? Because people might tune out because they'll think, oh no, Verizon 5G
right.
took over Prime now
Yeah,
too.
right. Yeah.
Damn money.
Yeah, right.
And I just look at you and say, look, if Verizon 5G took over my channel, I got that bag, folks.
Yeah.
They paid millions. Yeah, okay, Verizon. You want to offer that? You can take over my E3 show, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'll give you a segment and then quickly apologize right after it's done. Oh, that was the paid portion of our podcast. I'm really sorry for that. But they paid me $4.3 million.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah, right.
how about we take $1 million of that and let's do giveaways the rest of
Oh,
the
God.
God. It'd be like, so who wants a Lambo?
Yeah, right. Right.
Oh man. Okay, it would be 6G at that point, right?
Yeah.
Right. We barely have 5G towers up, but we want the 6G.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me see here. I didn't see too much else. There was a couple other like Koopa Slayer said, what if Nintendo had a surprise new Mario game announcement trailer with a 2022 release to go along with the teaser trailer for the Mario movie next year at the Game Awards? Which, by the way, we don't even know that the Mario movie is getting a teaser trailer. I would say the fact that they have basically said the movie's done.
Yeah.
There is, and obviously Jeff Keighley mentioned there would be gaming related movie trailers and stuff like that, which we know The Last of Us will probably get a new trailer there. I wouldn't be surprised if we have another trailer for Spider-Man there. Because it comes out that month. So I could see that stuff, and I could see a Mario movie. I could see the debut of the Mario movie trailer being there.
Yeah.
It's not
That'd be
getting
cool.
talked about a lot, but it kind of makes sense for them to do
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
even though it's still a year off. It's kind of one of those, but people are worried. Let's show them with confidence that we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And even if it's just like a 30-second trailer and we don't see it again for 6 months.
Get the name.
You don't even need the name. We need to hear Mario talk. And we need to see something about it that makes people either just bust a gut laughing because you're going all out with the comedy and it actually worked. And we're like, oh my God, that's amazing. Or makes people not think the movie's a joke. Because right now it's kind of running as, this movie's going to be a joke. But if it's a good joke, that's okay.
Yeah.
So we need to see. So it just needs to be something that instills initial confidence, which, by the way, doesn't mean the movie's going to be good. But this, again, I think there is a chance we do see it. And it would be fitting if we got a Mario movie trailer with a Mario movie announcement. It also might be fitting if we got a Mario movie trailer that ends with Donkey Kong talking right into the Donkey Kong 40th announcement.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Maybe the announcement of a new Donkey Kong movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like you can't announce a Donkey Kong movie yet until people are sold on a Mario movie. People need to know the Mario movie is going to be good before you can be like, oh, be sure to sign up for our next one. And then when the Mario movie flops, and you're like, are they really going to do Donkey Kong standalone when Mario flop?
Yeah. That might get thrown out the thing. You want to slap that merch link in there one more time?
Merch
I
link.
saw somebody say merch.
Merch,
So.
yeah, it's not working right now. I got to fix the bot for that. Here's the merch link. We don't have a lot up right now. I don't have any podcast stuff. Again, working on it, but we have desk mats.
Yeah.
I got to actually get some of those in the studio. We got some desk mats, so cool stuff. All right, I think that's probably it for episode 27.
Sounds good.
So,
I mean, that's a good wrap up.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Yes.
If you've already celebrated and you're watching this, or if you're going to, or if you don't, whatever. Spend some time with your family. Let them know you love them. If you don't have any family, go make some babies and have a family. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not here to give you life advice like that. Whatever. I'm going to be with my family. Eric will be with his. So we're going to have Good times. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Well, I'll technically see you guys Friday because I'm planning to be doing a game stream that night. We'll kind of play it by ear on Friday because it's also like a shopping day. And I don't know what's going on with Yulia. She just had her tooth pulled today. So she should be back at work and everything fine with them. I it's kind of play it by ear, but for sure we're back for Prime Giving on Sunday. So that should be a lot of fun. At 8:30 p.m. Central Time.
There you go. And also check out the podcast channel.
Yes.
Please help us view ours.
Please, yeah, we need viewers.
Put the what we recommend doing is going over there, putting the clicking on the playlist and just letting it run on mute. Who cares? Just watch hours
on some device that you're not using.
Yep.
Yeah, we need to get the watch hours up on that channel. Because
shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug. Like we're trying to get that channel going because I love this idea of a dedicated podcast channel.
Yeah,
and I understand like we've had 100+ live here. That's not going to be the case when we initially go live there. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll end up with 200+ live because you actually get notifications. Be sure to hit the bell icon and set your notifications to all. Yeah. Which, by the way, check your mobile devices and make sure you don't have YouTube notifications muted because some people do without realizing it.
Yeah.
Sometimes your devices come where they automatically mute it. So. But yeah, we're trying to get that channel. We're getting all the old episodes up. We're up through 12.
Yep.
Which was our episode with Jake Randall.
Yes.
Who came on.
Yes.
A little bit today. And Jake, remind me, I wanted to hit you up and get you on another episode for the end of the year. So maybe it's something to do. Maybe next week after this crazy shopping period. You know, get on the man, the myth, the legend that has helped thousands. Get next gen systems. So, including Eric. Anyway, sorry. Keep thinking of, damn it, I need to get another PlayStation 5. Damn it, I need to get another Switch OLED still.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Yeah. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun. I know the only other note I want to make is some people are waiting on the audio versions. I'll have an update about the audio versions here before the end of the year. Might be changing platforms with it. There's a lot of talks behind the scenes right now. So just wait. For now. I'm sorry. I know some people prefer audio because it saves them on bandwidth, even though you can listen to this on audio with just not watch the video. But for now, I apologize to those that want to do audio only. It'll be something that I will take care of eventually. And we had one more super chat.
Oh wow!
I can't read it. Let's see.
Anthony Cat, happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, thanks, man. How much was it?
$5.
$5. $5. We'll just take a good old chug from the old Miller time.
It was the It's the footlong.
$5 footlong, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah.
Catch you guys after Thanksgiving. By the way, I plan to have a video out tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. The thing is, this is a holiday week, so news has been very light.
Yeah.
So I do have a few discussion video ideas, but we'll see if I get around to it tomorrow. Otherwise, I will have a video on Friday, and we'll go from there. You guys are awesome, and I'll catch you in the next episode of the podcast, or you better see you guys at Prime Giving, baby.
Yeah.
Better be there. Better be there. Be there or be square. Thanks, Drake. Peace out.
Later.
Somewhere under the rainbow.